guys, Min here from On a Stamp Page. I'm super excited to be joining Janie and her 10,000 followers thank you video. Congratulations, Janie. I'm so proud of you and all the hard work that you put in for your YouTube channel. And I'm so grateful that I get to be a part of this. Today I'm going to share with you how to make this cute little, I'm going to call it a magnet, even though I haven't put a magnet on the back, because that was my original thought. But this little thing could be used as anything. It could be a magnet, you could add weight to it, it could be a paperweight. It's just a little token to say thank you to someone using some really simple and inexpensive tools. And I'm going to show you how to make this. And I want to show you the sides too, how there's washi tape. And I also kind of want to go through real quick how I got to this point of something that looks good. My first attempt was this, where I was trying to like do too much inside and put the sentiment on top, and I wasn't quite sure how I was going to have the glitter. But luckily, Mod Podge came to save the day, which is perfect because if you comment on my video, you have the chance to win a $50 Mod Podge gift basket. So I want to show you how I use Mod Podge to help me get this beautiful and more clean look to my little trinket. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little tin, and I got these from Oriental Trading Company. I'll link everything down below. And I'm going to open up the inside and do the inside. So what I did was I took some patterned paper and I punched a piece that out of a circle punch. I believe it's a 1 3/4 inch, and I'm looking, and yes it is. And I'm just going to take some Mod Podge and my little handy dandy teeny tiny sponge applicator, and I'm going to go ahead and add this to the inside. Oops, gotta be careful. Got too much because I got so excited. I'm going to start by putting it here on the back a little bit. I'm going to cover it as evenly as possible, like a nice thin layer, just to help keep it in place. I love Mod Podge because it's so easy to use. And then I'm going to set it down inside, and then because it hasn't dried, I can manipulate exactly where I want it, which makes me super happy. Make sure it's pushed down in there nicely. And then I'm going to take this that still has some Mod Podge, and I'm going to tap all the way around the sides to keep it down. And then I'm just going to do some brushing movements to do a nice thin layer on the inside. The thing about Mod Podge is you can get so many different finishes, and the finish that I'm using today is glossy, but if you wanted this to have more of a matte look, you could totally do that. Or there's glitter finish. I mean, there's tons of finishes. And so I'm just doing this nice thin coat, and that's actually going to be enough to keep it inside. So the next step we're going to do is the sentiment that you see in there, and I'm sorry if I'm shining on you guys. So I'm going to set this off to the side for a second, and I'm going to take my white piece of paper, and I'm going to use Memento ink because this is fade resistant and it's not going to smudge. And I'm using a sentiment from a Paper Smooches set that's been retired for a while, but I'll see if I can find it and link that below too. It's called Chit Chat. And so this is going to say, "You are too kind." And I'm just stamping it in that tuxedo black Memento ink. And now I'm going to take this fun tag punch so that I get this nice tag shape. You could use any shape you want to. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that I use I've had forever. I'm just going to make sure that's right there in the center where I want it. Punch it out and it pops everywhere. So if you wanted a different shape, you don't have to do this ticket shape, but you can. And then to keep this nice and glossy and use it as an element, I'm going to take some more Mod Podge. I'm being a little bit more careful about how I'm taking it out of the thing, and I'm just going to apply a nice thin coat to the front. I'll let this dry for a little bit, and then I'm going to do a coat to the back. So while this is drying, I'm going to show you how to do the lid part. So I'm going to set this aside now, and we'll do the back, and it'll become more nice and glossy. So as you can see on the top around here, I have some tiny little glittery sequiny things, and then some shine from some more glitter. And what I did to get this effect is I take the lid And then I take this EK Success tool, and this is, I think it's just baby powder that's inside. It's some sort of powder that can take away adhesives. And because I don't want the glitter being like everywhere in the lid, I'm gonna go ahead and just rub this lightly in there, and it's gonna look like nothing's happening, but what's happening is I'm taking all the static out of this so that I can manipulate the glitter and it's not gonna stick everywhere. So you can kind of see a little bit of the residue. And then I'm gonna take this same little sponge, and it's already still got Mod Podge on it, and I'm just gonna go around the outside with this kind of thin layer of Mod Podge where I want the glitter to be, and then I'm going to kind of smooth it out. And this is a little bit more than I did on my other one, but that's okay. And then I'm going to take my little glitters. This is actually a nail glitter. You can get some really cute nail glitters, and even though this is a tiny container, this is going to last quite a while because I've done a couple of other things with this already, and there are still glitters. And I'm just going to pop it right in the middle, just a little sprinkle. I don't want too much because it doesn't need it. There we go. I'm going to take this and I'm going to tap it, and I'm going to move it around with my finger to where it's getting to the sides with the Mod Podge. And it's going to feel like it's not wanting to stick and it's wanting to stick to your finger. So if you just push down as you go, it stays where you're putting it. And so see, like I have a lot down here. I'm going to bring that up and around and push it down. And you can look every so often and say, I need some up here. I'm going to put some more there. And you're literally just pushing it around with your finger and pushing it down where that Mod Podge is still tacky, but not super wet. And then you can look at it and you can say, yep, I like that. And so I'm going to take a little baby wipe, wipe the excess off of here, wipe the excess off of my finger. And the next step that I actually did was I took stickles because I wanted some extra shine. And so, sorry, that was off camera. So I'm taking this crystal stickles, and this is gonna kind of act a little bit like Mod Podge to the back of the glitter. And I'm just gonna do, sorry, it's needing to be pushed down. I'm gonna do just a nice thin circle all the way around inside of here. So hopefully you can see that nice thin circle of stickles. And I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to lightly kind of push it down over the top to create this nice glittery background finish that's going to keep the glitter trapped underneath. So it's like I'm using the Mod Podge to help it stick to the front, and then I'm using the stickles to keep it down in the back. Then you can look and you can see, and I actually kind of like that there's more down here. I think I might like use this as my top and this as the bottom, so it kind of looks in a way like a shaker. I'm going to try and get these ones that got stuck to my finger up here because I do like the look of that. And then I might honestly just pull some more around and off the sides and push it down up there too. There we go. And so then you just have to wait for that to dry. So we're going to set that aside. And I actually have one that I already made that's been dry, so we'll use that one when we put the whole thing together. So then I'm going to go back over here to my little inside of the box, and then this one, this is actually dry already. So I'm going to go to the back and I'm going to do a nice layer of Mod Podge on the back, and this is going to keep it. And I shouldn't say a nice little, it's like a nice thin coat of Mod Podge, because basically what I'm trying to go for is I want this accent to stay rigid and not start bending like paper has a tendency to do. So I'm also going to do another coat in the front, and I'm actually going to hold on to this while it dries. And so I will wait for this to dry, and then I will come back and do the next step. Okay friends, we are back and our little tag is dry and ready to be put in the center of our little container. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it over backwards, and I'm actually going to use some foam mounting tape to help it stay nice and like a little bit dimensional. As you can see in here, it's just a little bit dimensional, and so I want that same look. So I'm going to put this right here on the back, and instead of relying on this adhesive, because I want it to be Mod Podged in here, what I'm going to do is I'm actually even going to use Mod Podge here on the foam backing a little bit, because Mod Podge will stick to Mod Podge the best. And I'm going to stick that right in the center. I'm going to put that right there. And then I'm going to kind of, oh, I think I see a hair. Good. I was kind of hoping something like this would happen so that I could show you. What I use if I get little hairs or something on my Mod Podge pieces, I use one of these little paper piercers and I take it off. So like here I'm able to take off this little glitter, and then I'm pretty sure I just got that hair. So that makes me happy. And then I can also use this to move this around. So if you have one of these paper piercing tools, this is a good thing to have on hand while you're doing this project. Also tweezers, those help too. And I'm just gonna go back over this one more time so that I can make sure that it has that nice glossy shine that I want on the inside. So dab, 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 and then stroke, stroke, stroke. I am happy with the way that's gonna look. That's gonna dry really nicely. I might scooch this down just a smidge, there we go, to there. And then I'm gonna wait for this to dry and we'll be back to put it all together. All right, friends, I am back with my 2 parts of my element, both of which are pretty dry by now. Well, this is the one that I did earlier, so it's dry. This one's almost 100% dry, and that's fine with me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna hold this together. On this one that I showed you at the beginning, this one that was my first attempt that I really liked, I showed you the side, and so this is just washi tape, and it's not perfect, and I'm okay with that. If you want it to be more perfect, you're going to want to do this next step a little bit more slowly than I do, but this is just washi tape with then more Mod Podge on it to keep it lacquered in place. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my lid here on top and push it down. And this would probably stay pretty okay, but because I'm wanting this to kind of be like a magnet that sits on a fridge, I don't want this ever popping up off and then falling. So I'm going to take some washi tape, this black and white heart that kind of matches with my theme going on. And what I'm going to do, since this is round, you cannot go around with just one piece of tape because it's round and so it's going to get messed up. So I'm going to take, and when I say messed up, it's not going to be straight. I'm going to take small pieces of washi like this and do it a little bit at a time all the way around. So this is going to help me keep it to where it'll stay mostly straight, and it's not going to have any, as well, it might have some wrinkles, but it's not going to have as many. So I'm going to take just small pieces and go around like this. And I'm not super worried about if the pattern matches up or not. If you are, like I said, go slower, make sure you're putting it like right on top of the last one. You can use different patterns. You don't have to use just one pattern. I kind of like the look of the one pattern, but if you wanted to do all the different colors of sequins or glitter that you did in the top of yours, you could do that. You could make it work that way. And I like the way that this looks because it kind of looks paper pieced together. And so I feel like it gives it more of that homemade feel. And also, art's not about being perfect, it's about creating. So yeah, and I like that. I liked the washi tape better than anything else that I chose to put around because it's easily moved. Like, it's removable and you can put it exactly where you want it, which is why then it does need to have that Mod Podge put back on there. So we're just gonna go with that and hope for the best. And I'm just gonna take this same little spongy thing. This was just in my crafting stuff. I cannot tell you where I found it, but I'm going to try and find some and link them below. It is amazing for this project because it's small enough to work on this small area. I just love it. So I'm gonna just brush this over the washi tape. I'm gonna go back this way so that it's keeping the washi tape down that I just put on. And if I need more, I just press my little sponge and it comes right out. And this doesn't need to be a super thick layer because we're just trying to keep it on and keep it down. So wherever there's a little place like that was kind of poking up, I'm going to put a little pressure on it. And basically at the seams is where I'm doing that. And then I'm just dragging it over. And this does not take long to dry at all. I know that when you do Mod Podge, they want you to let it dry for 15 to 20 minutes before you do extra layers. So if you're wanting to do extra layers of the Mod Podge on this part, yes, do wait 15 to 20 minutes, but it's not going to necessarily take that long to dry. So I'm going to pull some of this from back over here and bring it over here. So there we go. And I try to make sure I have it all the way along the top and bottom as well, so that when it dries, it looks more even and like it goes together, instead of having these super duper shiny parts and then parts that are a little bit, they're still shiny, but you can tell that there's something on it. It just looks more even to me when I do that. So that is that, and then we'll let that dry. And that is literally it, except for if I wanted to make this into a magnet, I would turn it over to the back and attach some magnet or maybe a big circle magnet. But I love the way these turned out. They're so cute. You can do any color combo, any papers that you have. And I think it's just a nice little reminder for whoever you give it to that, oh, somebody knows that I'm a sweet person. And I think it's a great way to leave a lasting memory. Thank you so much today for coming and joining me on this fabulous hop. Again, congratulations to Janie. I really hope you guys go to all of the different stops along the way and comment and like and subscribe and do whatever you need to do, because she has so many sponsors for this hop. It's crazy. And I shared them at the beginning, but I'll also put them here at the end. And like I said, my video is sponsored by Mod Podge. If you comment and subscribe and do whatever you need to else below, then you will have the chance to win a $50 Mod Podge gift basket from Plaid is really who it's from. And so please join us. Say congratulations to Janie on her 10,000 followers. And until next time, hugs and happy crafting, friends. Bye.